I am Jade Thirlwall and you're watching Mariners TV.
So Liam, a really convincing win there. It must have been a pleasing one to be part of.
Cold one. I was freezing in the first half, but it was a really good win, especially after they went down to 10 men. We bossed it. We bossed it before we got one sent off, but it makes it a little bit easier. We play our game a little bit better. So good win. Another five goals on top of our tally. I think that takes us top of the league. So good night.
I guess it was one of your quieter nights of the season as well.
Probably the quietest night I've had this season, which I like. But as I say, it's not really welcome on a cold night.
Obviously, when it's a situation like that where they're keeping the ball so well in front of you as well, you just have to stay alert just in case something does happen.
Yeah, it's happened a few times this season when I've not had to touch the ball for 80 minutes and they've had the pressure on later on. But luckily we've kept them off, and let's see how well nights like that, but I've got nothing to do.
The team seems to be in good form at the minute as well, bounced back from that defeat at Bamber Bridge quite well over the last week or so.
Yeah, we've done really well. So we're going to come up against blips in the season, we're not going to win them all. It's how we react after a defeat, and we've showed how well we can react and how good and deep the squad is for a change.
Obviously you had a quiet night tonight, but on Saturday you were quite busy, especially in the first sort of half of the game as well. Are you pleased with your form at the minute?
Since Wooly's come in, it's because he's kicked up the backside. So not that I don't think I needed it, but there's nothing wrong with a bit of healthy competition. I sort of stepped my game up a bit. He's a young lad prospect coming through, and he's going to be awesome for the future. So I need to stay on my toes.
Obviously in the league now, you mentioned before, top of the league. How big is that psychologically for you to be at that position again?
I think before today's game, before we even went top of the league, it's all in our hands. It's got nothing to do with the other teams. We've got the games in hand. We make sure we take control of ourselves and win them. We're always going to go top. But it's nice for them to draw. I think they did the night. We've got 2 games in hand, so get the next 2 big games out of the way at home, and hopefully we extend that lead.
When you're winning games 4-0 like on Saturday and 5-0 today, does it think that gives a good message to the rest of the league as well, like what you're all about and that you're in good form again?
It does, because the league, it's not a pushover, it's a hard league. There's not very many big scores where it's 4-0, 5-0, and we're hitting form right end of the season, right at the back end where I think we've got 9 games left, so scoring goals, keeping them out, so it's happy days.
Obviously you've got the experience of this from last year as well when we're chasing the league title as well. Do you think that's going to help over the next sort of 10 games or so?
Yeah, well it'll be quite similar to last season, because we went right down the wire, and it will again this season. We don't want to finish second, third, or even playoffs isn't good enough. We want to win the league, so that's what we aim.
Obviously 2 more games coming up in the next few games. We've got Workman in the League Cup, and then I think it's Prescott Cables here on Saturday. They were one of the tougher teams that we've played so far, do you think?
Yeah, I think it was in Nils each we drew. They're a decent team. I think they're a young team, I don't remember, but we're forced to be reckoned with now at home. So hopefully the next 2 more games we can keep 2 more clean sheets and get a few more goals on the board.